is tomorrow. I have I pulled my tallow cake out of the refrigerator 10 minutes ago, and it is ready to be popped out. I've got some gloves, and as I've said before, if you want a completely sterile or mostly sterile workspace, work surface, get some parchment paper out and put it down on your counter before you work with your tallow. So we are going to pull this tallow cake. Just going to push down on it. It will come, there's water, but I have paper towels. Like I said, I knew this was going to be a really good batch of tallow. Hardly any brown on this. If you think, oh, I don't even see any, you're correct. I barely see any impurities on the bottom of this. The water is brown, so those impurities clung to the salt in the water. The nice thing about Phoenix is that it's dry here. I can set this on my counter, and in a few hours this whole thing will be dry. But what we're going to do with this next is throw it back in the crock pot with more salt water and render it one more time to make sure all those impurities are out. And I will filter it one more time. So you can watch me as I do that. All right, we've got the tallow cake, and there are a few impurities that I can see. I'm going to take a knife. Usually you'll take your butcher knife, the bigger knife that you use to cut your fat up with, and scrape off the top layer. I don't need to scrape the top layer off. There's just a few pieces in here I want to take off before I throw it back in the crock pot. Really not a whole lot on this tallow cake. It's gorgeous. Anything that I pull off, I can save to go on my potatoes in the air fryer or French fries. So we're going to take this over to the stove, put water and salt in our crock pot, and put this tallow cake back into the crock pot on low. Okay, our tallow is now fully melted in the crock pot with the salt water, and we are going to strain it out one more time. I've got this nice clear bowl so I can see where my water is and where my oil is. I've got my strainer and my cheesecloth to go on top of that with my ladle. There's a bunch of cleaning involved when you're rendering tallow, so I had to clean everything, including the crock pot, before starting the process all over again. And once I have my tallow in here, I will then pour it into these molds, let them cool on the counter, and then throw them in the refrigerator. I love using these for the last step. I will explain why later when we pull them out of the refrigerator and reveal what they look like. So let's go ahead and strain some more rendered tallow. Okay, now that all of our tallow is in this nice glass jar, we're going to throw our cloth away, put that off to the side. What I love about this clear jar is that I can pour with it and I can see where my tallow is. So then I can pour just pure tallow in most of these pucks, and it will be just the last few that I pour that will have water in them, and you'll see how beautiful they come out. So I can just grab the pucks that I know are 100% clean, throw them in the double broiler, heat them up, mix my carrier oil, whip them up, make lotion. Fabulous. see how these turn out when we flip them out on our parchment paper. I pulled my tallow pucks out of the refrigerator, and now I'm pulling them out of their little silicone molds. What I love about the silicone molds, you get this nice little puck, and if there's any impurities left, they'll be right there at the top. But if you can see this, there are next to no, well, I see no impurities on this little puck. This came out just as beautiful as I thought it would. So we're gonna pull the rest of these out. The last few will have some water in them, but because they're so small, I'll be able to get that water off, let them sit on the counter, and let that water just evaporate off. And then I will stick them in a Ziploc bag and stick them back in the fridge, and they will be ready when I'm ready to melt, add my carrier oil, whip up, and make lotion. So this is the last step in the rendering process. Everything's been rendered, it's pure. We are now ready to go and make our product.